You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. LSU had its second full scrimmage of spring on Saturday. Afterwards, Brian Kelly met with the media, as did select players. One of them was Greg Brooks, the New Orleans area native who started his career at Arkansas. You all know the story. Transferred to LSU along with Joe Fouché, another New Orleans area guy who is going to finish his career in the purple and gold. I loved this. On last week, Greg Brooks tweeted, "Best decision I ever made." That was the tweet. And he basically backed that up Saturday after practice when he told the media this.
I'm loving being back home. It's seeing my family, every other weekend and stuff like that. I just love it. I'm adjusting to practice really well, and I'm loving it.
One of the things Brian Kelly intentionally did, and he said this so many times, was he wanted to recruit guys with ties to Louisiana. We all know the story. Kelly inherited a team with 39 scholarship players in the bowl game. It was a mess. Roster management was non-existent. It was in shambles. And he had to find guys that were going to buy in. When you change a whole coaching staff and you're changing culture and all that sort of stuff, it's so important to have guys that want to be here. They're going to be more eager to listen and to react to what you're saying. So you go get these guys that grew up dreaming of playing for LSU and playing in Tiger Stadium, even guys that were team captains at another SEC school that say, "I'm going to go home, dog." It just means more. Not to steal the line from the SEC, no pun intended, but it does. It means more to those guys to be able to play in his home state. And you're going to get more buy-in from those guys. Brian Kelly on Saturday talked about those two guys in particular, Fouché and Brooks, and what they've meant.
Yeah, I'd say first and foremost, really good communicators, good leaders, and physical. I think that's what they bring immediately. There's going to be both those guys are athletic. They're going to be around the football. They're going to arrive with a bad attitude when it comes to, the collisions. And like you mentioned, they're veteran players. So, immediately you get older and you get, guys that have played a lot of football on your defense when you add those two guys.
And as far as Brooks, he was asked what the the message has been from the coaching staff.
They harping on building character, building, a lot of discipline, and I like that. Good disciplined teams win a lot of games. As you can see at Notre Dame, he's been to the playoff every year. So, I feel like he's bringing in a lot of stuff for us, and I feel like we're going to do good with it.
It continues to just be reinforced so many times when you listen to coaches or you listen to players. And so many times players will give you a glimpse into what's being said behind closed doors, in meetings room, team rooms, all this stuff, when they're all saying the same thing. And sometimes buzzwords or key phrases. And when you keep hearing all these players talked about character and discipline, like that's what they're not preaching run a fast 40 or catch the football. I mean, all that's important, and it's going to come, and it has to. But right now, it is about changing culture, and they're doing it with guys that want to be here. Greg Brooks and Joe Fouché are certainly among them. Now, Brian Kelly. Now, look, the other thing, too, play this one real quick, Muse, if you would. Greg Brooks was asked which receiver so far has been the hardest for him to guard. Listen to his answer.
Which of the wide receivers has been the hardest for you to handle?
Malik Neighbors. By far, we go at it every day. Me and him, him and Jack Best are the only two people I want to go against every day.
Malik Neighbors, Jack Best. Keep in mind, that's not even your best receiver, Kayshon Boutte, who's not practicing right now. That's not Brian Thomas, who some have said looks like a man-child out there right now in spring. That's not including Chris Hilton, who Brian Kelly has singled out as being massively athletic. And I mean, there are spots on this roster. There's spots where LSU is very deep and talented. I think the second at safety, that's a spot. The receiver group, undeniably. There's giant question marks on this team as well that they got to figure out. And this coaching staff is talented, knows what they're doing, and they will to the best of their ability. But there are spots where there's reason for optimism. One where you're wondering a little bit is running back. But everyone continues to rave about John Emery, and Brian Kelly did that on Saturday as well.
It's really about, John being in a better place mentally than it is physically. I think he's not as distracted. He's focused on what's most important, and what is most important is his academics and football. And I'm really proud of the progress that he's made since my short time here and making that happen. And I think I think we're going to see him play for us this fall because of that. And that's all on him, right? He had to make that decision, and good for him.
I'll disclose this. Through some NIL deals, there are some people that marketing people that want to push some athletes out to do media, which I totally understand. And I was approached about having John Emery on the show, which of course I'm open to. So I was put on a text thread with John Emery, and we're trying to work out a time to come on the show. And his response to me initially was, I'd love to come on the show, but my schedule is very busy organizing school and football practice. He's like, we'll make it happen in time with some dates that make sense. But his reaction was basically school. And I think you're looking at a guy that has matured throughout his career to understand you come in as a 5-star, you have these grand expectations, and you had a season taken away from you because you didn't handle your business in the classroom. And listen, we've talked about whose fault that could be, and I think there's a lot of ways where you can place blame. But what matters most is that guy's eligible and on the field for LSU this fall and makes the most of that season for him so he can go play at the next level. And it seems like he's on that path. Brian Kelly said the same thing. There's a lot. You can see progress being made. How many wins does that convert to this fall? I don't know. We'll see. And there's still a long way to go. But it feels like the ship is pointing in the right direction and is moving that way. No matter how slow, it doesn't matter. It's progressing toward its target. If you stay on that track, you're going to get there eventually. And I think this team will, and this program will, in Brian Kelly. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.